You can actually die in the Susie vs. Lancer fight.
Wait, really? Okay, let's talk about this fight between Susie and Lancer near the end of Chapter 1. This fight is arguably one of the most fascinatingly unique battles in the game, for so many reasons. To begin with, Chris isn't in this fight, a fact that would normally freeze the game, but Toby gets around this by placing Chris just out of sight in this room, so our stolen soul can still participate. Or rather, participate in the bullet segments at least. The players don't actually get to make any decisions, since no matter how you may button mash, Susie just skips us over the menu screen, using her turn to attack Lancer, forcing us to helplessly watch as he grows weaker, and weaker, and weaker. This is viscerally painful to experience, and I love it. In a fit of desperation to save the precious boy, I often see players trying to run into the bullets in an attempt to knock out Susie before she can land the final blow. But in a painful twist, Lancer actually moves the bullets out of your way the moment her HP falls below 70, making it impossible to die, just as it is when you fight Toriel. Or, wait, no, you can die on Toriel. It's tricky, but you can do it, and there's a very cool secret animation if you manage to make it happen. So, this begs the question, what happens if you die to Lancer? The obvious way to do this is to just start up the game using a save file that's near the Lancer fight, take off Susie's armor, and, oh, she refuses to let you take her armor off once she has it on. Okay then, so the real answer here is to play through the game without ever equipping Susie. Then, we just save the game at this save point, enter the battle with Lancer, and run directly into the bullets. Doing this, we can see that Susie has 110 HP total, and Lancer does about 14 damage per hit. So in theory, we just need to get hit 7 times. Or, not? Wait, why did that one do 6 damage? Well, it turns out, the game actually thought of that. The moment a turn starts, the game checks how much HP Susie has left, and when it's below 70, Lancer's attacks do less damage. The Toriel fight does something similar, so what I like to do is get hit twice, bringing us to 82 HP, and then we just need to get hit 6 times in a single turn, or 12 times before the bullets enter the stage where they'll miss us every time. What turn does that happen again? Turn 4? And how long do invincibility frames last for? Okay, so I'm fairly confident the most you could possibly get hit is 3 times a turn. So, obviously, this is impossible, right? Well, it sure seems that way. But hang on, look at this dog. Tendog seems to have somehow made it to the fight with Susie at 14 HP. Maybe if we pray at the dog shrine, they will share some of their wisdom? O sacred Tendog, please, we beg of thee, share thine enlightenment. Oh, they just put the info in the description. If you don't heal at any save points until you get to the prison, this can happen. Ingenious. But wait, how far back do we have to go for that? Like, can we just tank hits just before this cutscene using these Rudin Rangers? Nope. It looks like Susie leaves the party here, so they can't. Piff-ha-ha-ha. I didn't know they did this. Right, let's rewind a little bit more. Maybe if we rewind to the fight against Susie and Lancer? Not here either. It looks like damage dealt to Susie during this fight doesn't carry over. Gosh darn it, Toby thought of everything. Alright, so let's go all the way back. What is the last real fight in which we have Susie on our team? That would be back at the checkerboard when we fight K-Round. The problem with this fight is I don't know how to guide you through this because K-Round powers up the longer the fight goes. I would suggest trying to get Susie to around 12 to 18 HP, since 19 to 24 or higher requires you to take damage 4 times before the 4th turn, which is strangely difficult. Now, once you've finally managed to accomplish this, you might be tempted to save the game so that you don't lose all that hard work. But whatever you do not save here. I know Susie isn't in the party, but the thing about the save points is they don't actually care. They heal Chris, Susie, and Ralsei, regardless of who is actually in the party. So this is where the real challenge comes in, as you have to get to the card castle, relying entirely on Ralsei's heal prayer and whatever food you've managed to squirrel away in your inventory. And to be clear, this applies to Malleus too. Even if Susie isn't here, he still manages to heal her, so no free heals for you. So, after all that hard work, the experiments, the code, the backtracking, and grinding. Was it worth it? What if we go frame by frame? Nope. I can't say I'm terribly shocked. I think it's pretty clear by now that Toby intended for this to be impossible. This isn't like the tutorial fight where a player might actually die to her on accident. You have to work very hard to circumvent all of these measures he took to prevent this. But, if you really want some secret extra Susie and Lancer dialogue, there is a way to get more from dying to Lancer. And the implications of this are wild, because just like before, this is the only time that I am aware of where the rules of battle are changed like this. Ready? Right after building and blowing up the thrash machine, when you fight against Susie and Lancer, you can actually die to them. And if you do, instead of a game over screen, they laugh at you. That's not all, either. Take a look at our HP. We didn't load our game. The characters actually remember that we fought them. This isn't a reset. It's linear. Susie and Lancer will straight up beat you to a pulp and then leave you for dead by this save point. How considerate of them? Now, if you'll recall, the deal was that if we lost, we'd get to join their team as one of the bad guys. But when Ralsei tries to bring this up to them, Susie and Lancer refuse, insisting we're giving up too easily. If you lose to them a second time, the dialogue updates again, with Ralsei begging to please just be allowed to join the bad guys, and Susie insisting that she's not letting us join until we stop wanting to. Honestly, there is a surprising amount of dialogue hidden away in this fight, much of which seems to get passed over by the majority of players, which appears to have resulted in some spelling errors, and, nope. I'm not opening that can of worms. I've got to prepare the merch store for the holidays, and oh geez, there are so many new patrons now? What are you all doing here? Thank you all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you for your patience, support, and continued excitement. Thank you as well to Tendog and Idluz for figuring this out to begin with, and to Molly Stars for bringing it to my attention and for the continued editing assistance. Her channel's been cranking out some very interesting stuff lately, so make sure to check it out. And until next time.
Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Hyperlink Blocked.